Sri Lanka has a constitution, a human rights commission, UN treaty commitments. It has signed every document, made every promise, and then systematically broken every single one of them. Here's the scam. The 1978 Constitution guarantees freedom from torture, freedom from arbitrary arrest, equality before the law. Beautiful words, but the moment emergency regulation kick in, those rights evaporate. The moment the Prevention of Terrorism Act is invoked, you can be locked up without charge for months, with confessions beaten out of you, used as evidence against you in your own country, under your own constitution. And who is supposed to stop this? The Supreme Court. But it costs too much and moves too slow for ordinary citizens. The Human Rights Commission, but its recommendations are routinely ignored by the state. The Office on Missing Persons crawling at a pace that insults the families still waiting for answers. Parliament, which keeps passing new security laws without right safeguards. Every institution built to protect you has been quietly defanged. This isn't new. Look at the dates. 1956, Tamil speakers stripped of dignity by a single language law. 1979, the Prevention of Terrorism Act opens the door to torture and arbitrary detention. 1981, the Jaffna Library, one of Asia's greatest cultural treasures, burned to the ground by state-linked mobs. 1983, Black July, state security forces stand aside while hundreds are massacred. Each time, no accountability. Each time, the cycle resets. Here is how it works today. Someone protests, students, minorities, the poor. The state doesn't ask why. It labels them a security threat. Then comes the emergency rule, the surveillance, the arrests. Then comes the rights violations. Then comes deeper grievance. Then the cycle begins again. The Aragalaya protesters in 2022 faced the same playbook. Even the 2024 anti-drug operation Yuktiya triggered Human Rights Commission alarms over torture and illegal arrests. Nothing changes. And here's what makes it worse. Sri Lanka signed international treaties against torture, against arbitrary detention, against discrimination without reservations, meaning they made those promises with no escape clauses. But because Sri Lanka uses a dualist legal system, those international promises never automatically become domestic law. They sign at the UN, they ignore it at home. The bridge between promise and practice is completely broken. So what must happen? 4 things, and they are not negotiable. 1. Repeal the Prevention of Terrorism Act. Replace it with something that actually respects due process. 2. Independent investigations into every custodial death, every torture claim, every illegal detention. 3. Real answers for the families of the disappeared, not symbolic commissions that produce reports nobody acts on. 4. Equal access to state services in both Sinhala and Tamil, and stop using online safety laws to silence people who dare to speak. Sri Lanka doesn't have a human rights problem because it lacks the right laws. It has a human rights problem because the people in power are the ones the laws were meant to stop. A right that cannot be enforced at a government counter does not practically exist. Thank you.